and welcome back to the Leeds FBS Student Life YouTube channel. It's Grace here, one of your student engagement interns, and today I'm going to give you a video on how to plan your university scientific essay. So some of you may be aware that you've all been added to the Your FBS team on Microsoft Teams, and student engagement interns, we've been running a variety of sessions. For example, we've had exam tips so far, we've had a career session. So if you go onto Microsoft Teams, you can see the recordings of all of the previous sessions that we've had and also see the ones that we've got upcoming. So I thought that I'd just do a YouTube video today on this topic, because I think it's a lot of students tend to struggle with this, including myself. So I thought that rather than just having a really short clip of it during the Your FBS session we did previously, I thought I'd give a more detailed outlook on this matter. So given the current circumstance that we're in, most, if not all, exams for university have been put online. So although I'm sort of going to be focusing on how to tackle essays that we've been doing online, these skills and tips that I'm going to be talking about still apply to essays that you have to do in more time conditions in an exam hall, for example. So in FBS, a lot of essays that have been set have been given sort of a 48-hour window in order to be completed. I think most people within their modules have had usually just one essay question to focus on within this 48-hour period, although you may have more than one depending on your module. So in terms of before the exam, I think it's really important that you check your understanding of the module and of the lecture content. So before you even get around to exam period, it's really important to talk to lecturers or email them if you're unsure about anything, you know, discuss topics with friends, and really make sure that you understand the content before you go into the exam. I think some students feel anxious maybe emailing lecturers or messaging them on Teams, but it's really important to make sure that you get the most out of your university experience. At the end of the day, they're there to help you, so don't feel anxious about it, just drop them an email and hopefully they'll respond and help you out. So although these are online and you do have 48 hours, it is still really important to revise. Obviously you don't know the question that's going to be coming up until the 48 hours begins, so you do need to sort of make sure that you understand the whole module and all the lectures to a good standard, basically. So another way to help yourself before the exam is to practice and plan. So your lecturers may put some past or practice essay questions up on Minerva, so you could go ahead and, rather than spending hours writing them out, just planning these answers. So not only is that helping you sort of take information and put it out on paper and really check your understanding of lecture content, it's also helping you to understand how you're going to plan your essay when the actual exam does come about. And then, of course, wider reading is really, really important if you want to gain those top marks. So looking around for key primary literature, so you could go onto PubMed or Web of Science, they're both really good sources, and finding relevant articles for example, each of your lectures is something that I'd really recommend doing before the exam. So during the exam, the most important thing is to read the question. This seems so obvious and you probably get told this all the time, but reading the question is so important. If you read the question wrong and spend hours writing out an answer that isn't answering the question, you're not going to get any marks. So make sure that you read the question again and again and again. And then once you've read the question, what you can do is start to plan. And planning is so important. A lot of the time people just want to dive in and start writing to get it over and done with. But if you don't plan, then you're not going to stick to the question, and you may start bringing in ideas that are really knowledgeable and amazing ideas, but they're not key for the question. So read the question and plan according to what they're asking. So again, bringing in that wider reading that we've talked about before the exam, so bringing in key ideas from different literature papers and then critically analysing them as well in order to really bump up your grade and the quality of your essay. And then that brings me to the most important point, which is to answer the question. So you may know all this knowledge about a specific topic and want to bring everything in, but at the end of the day, if you don't answer the question properly, then you're not going to get the marks, and you may lose marks as well. So make sure that you're bringing in the necessary knowledge and the relevant research and answering the question. So I thought that we could have a go at tackling an exam question together. So I'm going to show you how I would attempt an exam question. So we've just got an example here. So this is just a random question that I've made up, which is to describe the role of the innate immune system in viral infection. So the first thing we're going to do, as I said before, is to read the question. So I'm going to read it again just to instill in you how important it is to read the question. So describe the role of the innate immune system in viral infection. So we can see that we've got some key words in there that we really need to pick out. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to highlight the key parts of the question. So as you can see here, I've highlighted the command word, which here is to describe. So the command word is going to tell you how to structure your essay. You know, it may not seem that important. You may not really think about the command word, but actually it is really, really important. So we've got describe here, so that means that we're going to be picking out the key parts of the innate immune system within viral infection. Let's say if we had, I don't know, compare, then we'd have to be comparing ideas. If we had discuss, that's the key one, that's picking out pros and cons, you know, advantages and disadvantages of different key points. So it's really important that you have a look at your command word, and if you don't understand what it means or what it's asking, you know, do a little Google search and make sure that you know how to structure your essay according to that command word. So the next keywords that I've highlighted are innate immune system and viral infection. So the reason I've highlighted these is, of course, because these are the key things that we're going to be focusing on. So we want to understand the role of the innate immune system. So we're going to be talking about the innate immune system, and then the specifics is the role of it within viral infection. So we need to talk about what viral infection is and how that interlinks with the innate immune system and how they affect each other. So by highlighting these keywords or these key terms, we know that this is what we need to make sure that we focus on in the essay. So we're making sure that we're only focusing on these parts of the question, this question. We're not thinking about other things. We're trying to focus on this question so that we end up answering it correctly and specifically using relevant research and information. So after we've read the question and we've highlighted the key terms, we need to think about planning. Now, the way that I like to initially plan my essay questions is to do mind maps. So as you can see here, I've got two mind maps. I've got one for the innate immune system and one for viral infection. So I picked out those key terms within the question and I've put them into mind maps. So then what I do is think about 3 or 4 main points to do with each. So obviously with an online exam, you can look through your notes, check your lecture content, wider reading, and really think about what you think would be most relevant and useful for your essay. So for example, for innate immune system, point 1 could be dendritic cells, and then point 1A could be the mechanism of action of dendritic cells, for example. And the same with viral infection. You can pick out key things that are important and then add things on as you go. And then this way you can really get all your ideas out onto 1 or 2 pieces of paper, and you can really see where you can go with your essay. So then after this, as you can see, I've got some arrows on here. So what you can start to do is start linking your points from your one key term to your other. So for example, for the innate immune system with point 1, we were talking about dendritic cells. So let's say point 1B was the way that dendritic cells tackle viral infection. And then we can link that to point 3A for viral infection, which could be how viral cells try to evade dendritic cells or evade the immune system. So what we can do is put all our answers, points down for each key term, and then really try and link them together. So that way we're gaining and creating more of a comprehensive essay. So then once I've done my mind maps and I've linked up my points and I've really written down everything that I think will be relevant for the essay, I like to write out my plan. So as you can see here, I've just sort of written a basic example plan for any essay. So I'm going to do another video on sort of structuring your essay and how to, you know, write introductions, conclusions, and your paragraphs as a whole. So this is just sort of an overall slide to show how you could go about doing that, but I will go into more detail with that in another video. But anyway, yes, so once you've done your mind maps, you can put it into sort of a more written form so it's easier to see, and then once you've done that, you can go ahead and write your essay. So I hope that this comprehensive and fairly quick video is helpful to you, and if you've got any questions about specific essays or essay writing, whether they're online or in time tools in exam conditions or coursework essays as well, then feel free to comment down below or message us on our social medias, and we can help to respond and answer your questions. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.